Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me, and ultimately thank you so much for gracing your presence here on my channel. I truly appreciate you stopping by and choosing me to be entertainment for today. Alright, let's get into today's topic. How I stay motivated. Okay, let me just give you a few tips that have been working for me. So during this time, this unprecedented, challenging time, it is extremely difficult to stay motivated to some, but to me it can be a little bit challenging because you either want to sleep all day because there's really nothing to do, you can't really go anywhere like you want to, or you don't do the work that you're supposed to do, whether you're in school or you're at a job, you're at an office. Also, sometimes you just get really down on yourself and you self-doubt and you start to feel self-pity and all these different things that arouse within you. For me, during this time, I think what's been my biggest challenge is not getting lazy. Okay, because just because you have a day off doesn't necessarily mean to be lazy. Now, there is a certain thing called, okay, yeah, today I choose to do nothing, but even your do nothing days, you still are productive because you're keeping your mind active, you're keeping your mind flowing. So the term lazy definitely has a negative connotation to it, so that's why I try not to use it. But in this particular sense, it's a great tool to use because it's going to prove the point that I'm making, right? So when you, for instance, for me, right, I have little less than 2 months of school left, and more like a month and a half or a month, really. And so all of my classes are pretty much simple, straightforward, and somewhat easy. So a lot of times, if I didn't have 2 businesses, or if I didn't have a hobby on my own, I would probably lounge around a lot. Knowing me, that can never be in my character because I always like to be on the move. I always like to stay doing something. That's just how I get through life. Of course, you want to be still and know, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link that video above. But at the same time, you want to grow, and how you grow is how you prosper, and how you prosper is how you walk and how you stay true to yourself. So how do I stay motivated during these times? I am constantly being productive. I am constantly finding myself something to do. If I'm not making a video, if I'm not writing, if I'm not talking to business reps for my business, if I'm not talking to clients for my services, if I'm not writing down my thoughts that I need to meditate on, if I'm not praying, if I'm not taking a walk, exercising, communicating with my family, talking to people I know, or even just, cleansing my spirit, then I consider myself to be lazy. I consider myself that, hey, I need to get up. I need to be doing something. I need to be actively working my mind, my body, my emotions, because whenever you don't work, what's inside falls short, falls dead, and you can just bury yourself inside of yourself and slowly wither away, whether it's depression, deep in sadness, or just completely leave and transition to somewhere, to another realm, which, by that I mean departing from earth. So how I stay motivated is I constantly have to talk to myself. If I don't do anything else, I constantly have to talk to myself. I have to tell myself, hey, I love you, right? I have to constantly remind myself of the good things that have happened in my life. I have to constantly remind myself and reflect on the negative or the bad things that have happened in my life, so I don't forget or repeat the same thing that happened in my history. So I have to constantly be alert, just letting myself go with my thoughts when I talk, and just be very expressive and be very submissive to myself. Like, and by that I mean just listening to my intuition, listening to my grown thoughts, listening to my growing thoughts, the ones that have tricky time getting where they need to be. So it helps in a lot of ways, and it can also hurt in a lot of ways, because when you're constantly talking to yourself and you're reminding yourself of the things that you need to be doing or things that you want to be doing, you can get down. You can get distracted, because now you have so many different thoughts and none of them are complete. So how do I do that? How do I stay complete? How do I stay motivated in those areas? I have to meditate. I have to constantly love myself for the things that I am already gifted with. I have to love in gratitude. So that means, like, a lot of times, I've said this before, sometimes you have to make love to your past self, right? And I do that with dream work. So a lot of times I make love to my dreams, which means moving from your past self to now present, or even your future endeavors. You have to be grateful for the things you've already went through. A lot of times we look at our past and we're like, man, I hate when I did this, or I wish I knew better, or I wish I didn't do that, or I wish I wasn't with that person, or I was so insecure, I was so lost. How do I fix that? How do I fix the past, right? And sometimes fixing it there's no fixing like love. Right? There's no fixing like loving yourself again, loving yourself for who you truly are, for what you've been through, for what you stood for what you are standing for in this present day. There's nothing like loving in gratitude and showing support for yourself, because that support is probably something and a concept that you'll probably never get anywhere else in the same amount of form that you give to others, or that you continuously give to yourself. So I have to continuously love myself for the things that I've been gifted with, for the things that I have already been receiving, for the things that I have already gone through, and for things that I am constantly, changing my mind about or confused about. I have to love even in the midst of shipwreck, even in the midst of problematic situations. I have to love myself and be thankful for those different things, because if not, then I fall to the wayside and I start getting down and I start getting, just really sad, and I start to hate a part of me that I wish I could change. And a lot of things that you wish you can change are just completely out of your control. So when you love yourself, you understand that. You realize what's out of your control is given to God, is given to your higher self, is given to your intuition, and it'll come back to you later. You don't have to figure everything out right away. And a lot of times for me, things do not come right away. It comes over time. And when you understand that, and when you process that through your mental, then you're able to be at peace with it and be at peace with yourself. So yes, if anybody tells you talking to yourself is crazy, I feel like for me, talking to yourself is the best form of just showing yourself gratitude, of loving yourself, of understanding who you are. If you're not talking to yourself, you don't know yourself, because you don't know why you're thinking the things that you're thinking. You don't know the reason behind every action. You're not reflecting. And talking to yourself does not necessarily mean I'm walking down the street talking to myself, or I'm sitting in the classroom talking to myself. Sometimes it can be when I'm in the car and I'm driving, I'm listening to music. I may turn the music down and just, reflect, talk to God, talk to my inner spirit, and think about the things that I'm doing, or think about the endeavors that I wish to embark on, so that everything can be prosperous for me and can come into my present form and come in a form where it's positive for me. So I like talking to myself. I enjoy talking to myself, because it reminds me who I am, and it reminds me that I exist. It reminds me that I'm consciously aware of the things that are happening onto me and the things that I'm giving. So in short, I stay motivated during these times, during any time, but especially during these times, by just reminding myself that you're okay. You don't have to have everything figured out. You're 23. You may be 44. You may be 65. You don't have to have the world figured out. You're this spirit given this human experience. So you don't know everything. Even if you've lived and lived and lived, things do happen in cycles. But there's always that interruption that is going to come about that takes everyone for a loop and no one knows how to react. That's when you start to tune into your inside and you start to tune into who you really are, to understand how you act upon this world today. Stay motivated just by listening. Stay motivated just by constantly thinking positive thoughts, giving yourself positive affirmations, understanding that you're perfect even in your imperfections. So it's that constant reminder, it's that constant reflection, it's that constant talk that you have with yourself to let yourself know that, hey, I am perfect in my imperfections. I have flaws just like the next person, but I am doing the best that I can do, and that is okay for me right now. I don't have to be Bill Gates. I may be I'm myself, and I'm going to be myself in the future. Maybe at a higher status, of course, but right now, I'm okay with just being me. I don't have to push or pretend to fit into this world that I necessarily don't belong to, right? We belong to our higher self. We belong to the universe, God, so nothing is ever promised. Nothing is ever for certain, and nothing is ever permanent. So, just live in the best way that you know how to. Motivate yourself in the best way that you know you believe in and that you stand for. But consistently remind yourself that you are okay. Remind yourself of these positive things that have already happened to you, so that you can know that, yeah, there's going to be a bump in the road. There's going to be a hurdle that I have to climb over. But I've done it thousands and thousands of times before in my past, so what makes this one any different? Maybe a little bit more higher, more curvier, more bumpier, but I still know how to get over it because I have faith in myself. I love myself with gratitude. And so I'm always thanking myself in a terrible time, in a great time, in a challenging time. I'm always thanking myself for the things that I go through because I am getting through it, okay? We have gotten this far. If you've made it to October, congratulations. Hallelujah, okay? Like, live in glory, live in your best form, and stay motivated, okay? I encourage you to stay motivated. If you have any motivational tips, leave them down in the comment section below. If you like this video, of course, go ahead and show this video some love and give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Love you. Peace.